Welcome to Holistic Hot Talk, empowering listeners to connect with movers and shakers in the integrative and holistic health world. Informing you is our passion. Our guests are making a statement that health promotion and disease prevention is possible. Sit back, relax, and join our Holistic Hot Talk team for timely discussions with our guests. Now, let's get on with the show.
Here with the launch of the new Holistic Hot Talk in London, Ontario, and it's been an effort that's been around for years, trying to give back to our community and have an opportunity to be exposed, body, mind, and spirit, to integrative professionals and individuals expert in their fields. And today was, bar none, I would say, probably the most off the charts launch that Brenda, what are you thinking? My partner Brenda Pearce, registered nurse as well, and seeing medicine from a mainstream grassroots perspective as RNs, fascinating to even share and be with everyone that was here today. This brilliance sitting on the stage here, unbelievable.
Absolutely. Pat, I have to thank you for all the pioneering work you've done through the years to be able to bring this to this culmination right now, where we really are at the epitome of the cutting edge of healthcare, humanity, lifestyle medicine. You've got it. I so appreciate the talent that we have here, the skills, the expertise that we have here. And I just really applaud this new day in a new way.
And for the magnitude of what is on the stage, to be in little old London, Ontario, I always view it as one of the most conservative medical communities. I've worked 41 years here, so I've seen 4 decades of activity. And to be groundbreaking, but also to be grassroots and humble, and all of this travel and brilliance and published and international, to be here to give back to a small group. And I had 5 people already ask me, why are we not speaking to 1,000? Why are we not speaking to 10,000? But there is a shift occurring, and I would love for our humble and brilliant guests to give us their take. Is the shift happening? Is the tipping point now, Dr. Schmidt?
No, it is. I mean, it is now, and I think, and it may be not now as far as medical education and medical practice is concerned, but as far as patients are concerned, like I mentioned in my talk, patients are coming, asking for different because they're finding out different, through the internet and through what other people are doing worldwide. And I think Eric put it perfectly, is that healthcare has to be seen as that multifaceted diamond. I loved your analogy because medicine is a piece of that, and it's a piece that that's important, but it's not the only piece. And I think we all make the diamond shine, but it's the multifaceted nature of all of those providers, and I think our patients are asking for it. We've got some catching up to do, and as I mentioned before, we finally have programs that are going to catch up, and they're starting to develop all over the country. I mean, I know that Winnipeg now has a wellness institute attached to their St. Boniface Hospital, so it's getting there, and the patients are the drivers.
Phenomenal. Dr. Pearl, your thought on a shift occurring? Do you notice a difference at all in your world of what you do, that people are more receptive and open?
I notice the difference in varying ways. I noticed the difference from when reconnective healing first started. If I had talked about it, I might have had problems getting into a hospital if I pulled up to the emergency room in an ambulance.
Yes.
Today, we speak on reconnective healing at hospitals and universities, at the United Nations. We speak to government bodies, and we teach the mainstream how to do reconnective healing. Now, the shift that we see in the mainstream of the people coming to learn reconnective healing is that it is a lot less of what we might consider the woo-woo. A lot less people coming in the tie-dye, chiffon and taffeta and cotton outfits with the moon and star earrings and the turbans, carrying these giant wooden bowls of substances resembling dirt that they eat with chopsticks. It's 50% men, it's 50% women. It's very well educated. And the majority of people don't come from a background in energy healing. I'd say about 20 to 30% come from mainstream medical and related healthcare fields. but a good 50-60% just come from mainstream everyday life, whether they're housewives, whether they're college professors, whether they drive a truck or a bus, or whether they run a bank or they're CEO of a big company. It's everyone, because today it's everyone's responsibility to bring health care back into the family, back into the communities, and into our consciousness. And the shift is that it's less of the people getting involved with the drama and the performance, and more of us accepting this as just an everyday expansion of the facets of who we are, our reality as human beings. Not so much what we would used to call the divine right, although everything I believe is divine, but it's our human potential.
Wow, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay, follow that, Dr. Victoria, I was excited
Thanks,
for you
Eric.
to be here today as well, coming from that basic foundational chiropractic training. How do you feel about the shift, and is this part of it? What happened here today?
Oh, absolutely. Hard to follow both these wonderful gentlemen, but I think if I could bring one message, the idea of the future of healthcare, the future's here. It's not that the discussions talk about the future of healthcare, it's already here. So that isn't something we need to just sit and talk about and try to make policy around. It's already happening. And it's happening, just like you said, Little London, Ontario. It's happening from the people that came here that are interested in their health. I think they're the drivers that are creating this incredible paradigm shift. And I loved the diamond. I'm going to use that too because I can visualize that. And nobody owns the shining part of the diamond. That all those facets are shared. And one of them is the patient, because the patient's expectations, the patient's belief in outcomes are just as important. So they share a piece of the diamond too, and there is no hierarchy anymore. It's a collaborative effort for everybody to move healthcare in a positive direction.
I love that statement. The future is now. Brenda, from nursing and what we've known, and from now professionals that are in our industry and physicians and a number of others, 20,000 I think, Dr. Pearl, is something like that you've trained already?
I would say.
Reconnective?
But I just want to add one thing to this beautiful statement, which is that every healthcare discipline has its role, and the only danger that comes into play is when one healthcare discipline feels that it is the expert, the authority over and above the rest.
There's no doubt.
Right. Well, the big important thing is that we have people who have are now in long-term care, and it encompasses people in all age groups in our long-term care facilities that we have. It's this conversation we had today is really pivotal in terms of what can we bring to those people who've already gone into a position where they are at the end of their life. It's about comfort. It's about showing them that there's still value in life at every moment of life. And I think that what we're developing here today is an action plan for us to be able to make really significant changes in all stages of life, from beginning to end, and that dash in the middle, how important it is to really enrich life, because nobody values their life more than we do, and it's a gift that we have. So really learning how to nurture our lifestyle is so important. Thank you all very much.
I have to ask Dr. Schmidt, because it was one of the frustrating things for me, is how do we make serious changes in the medical community, in the training that physicians get, about a half an hour nutritional training. I know physicians that slept through that half hour. There are up and coming physicians, my wonderful clients and patients I know all over are saying, my doctor won't talk to me, just shut the door. I like to share that they're being policed by the college. It isn't a fair position everybody's in. And they got into medicine being altruistic and expecting to have a healthcare system. And now we all have to open up and be one and start this shift on all these different levels, one person at a time. one person at a time is enough to cause this change. And I'm wondering, Dr. Schmidt, it amazed me how your soft message and your way of infiltrating that message of lifestyle medicine with up and coming new general practitioners, how well received was that, and why that approach?
You know, again, it's a paradigm shift in the way not only do we provide care, but certainly how we do the education. And you're right. I mean, I still teach and mentor young medical students, and they get, I think, 1 hour more nutrition training than I got 35 years ago in their training, and it's delivered. It may not be delivered the right way, and certainly when you look south of the border, where Tulane University now has a culinary medical institute where the medical students learn to cook with the community, and the importance of nutrition in both preventing disease and treating disease. And so, we've got some work to do, and I still enjoy teaching traditional Western style medicine, but there's so much more we could be doing. And so, when I've talked to the fourth year medical class, and even I just spent last Saturday with the first and second year class, and I said, would you guys be interested in an after school program at the new building? And 100 hands went up. So they want to augment, just like we have all augmented our education over time, they want to augment their own education because there is no room in the curriculum. I mean, we have good friends that teach at Boston, at Harvard, and they have no room in their curriculum either for these important things. And they're the seat of the integrative or of the Institute of Lifestyle Medicine is right in Harvard, and yet they can't seem to push the envelope. So it takes time. I mean, and I've got time and I've got the energy to do it. And those that come with me, hopefully, we can just continue, to push the movement. I mean, I think the patients are wanting it. The young docs want something different. They got disillusioned with chronic disease management very quickly within 2 years of their residency, and so they're looking for a different way of providing care. And I think, and I see, and like I mentioned in my talk, one of my teachers, Ian McQuinney, talked about, he was the father of patient-centered medicine, and yet we've gone away from that. It's very much a top-down approach. When docs tell you can only have one visit per problem or one problem per visit, then we've lost our patient-centeredness. And so it's time to go back to patient-centric care, patient-activated care. And there's opportunity. There's tremendous opportunity, but we've got to teach docs to build a bigger team. As we heard today, there's this multifaceted team that it shouldn't be under our control. We should be looking to others to try to help us with the best fit for our patient, because we don't know it all. And I'd be the first to say, I did it wrong for 28 years, and now I've got time to do it right. And I think there's a better way of doing this.
Absolutely.
Is there a message for Dr. Pearl, for someone listening to this that has never really embraced or been exposed to that energy talk, that they find it abstract, they can't with the bottle, and it is, is there a seed that can be planted with everyone, or is it happening upon a lecture of this nature? I'm loving that we will have a video on Holistic Hot Talk website that will have the essence of what you taught us today and what we were able to visualize. But the average person, I find, in the body, mind, spirit model of integration, that it's so abstract to people when they say energy. They don't get it.
It's an interesting concept, and hopefully we'll be able to put the video up on the reconnection.com too, if you'll allow us.
Absolutely.
Energy is a funny word because we think of it as something abstract. Look, for the longest time, there were and still is considered by many people in the field of physics two different physics. There's the physics of the very, very small, the physics of the very, very large. And as some of the great teachers say, Nassim Haramein, for example, that we forget that the very large is comprised of the very small. So we look at these things as being hard to grasp. And really, if we just go on to the internet for a little bit and say, hey, what's going on in science today? We'll find people who speak to us and everyday language and help it to become clear. So if we talk about that the chair we're sitting on is mostly empty space, or you're mostly empty space, I'm mostly empty space, but it's not really empty space, it's information, we find that people are bringing the abstract thoughts of quantum physics into everyday, natural, easy to understand, mainstream verbiage. And that helps us to understand that if you're energy, I'm energy, we're energy, then we all really are one, and we're all interacting just the way that when you smile, you have a beautiful smile. It makes others want to smile in return. You are touching that person without physically touching them, and we start to understand we are part of a greater picture.
Yeah. Victoria, what advice would you give? I loved your talk because it was a piece that had to be discussed. Critical thinking. Go beyond what you're going to eat today, what your workout's going to be, and be open to making that shift even yourself with critical thinking of what we're dealing with here. How do we advise people to start that critical thinking?
I don't think it's something you literally give advice to. I think it doesn't have to be complicated. It's fairly simple. It's trust your intuition. Keep things really simple. If it seems hard and confusing, it probably is and likely isn't the right path. I love what happened today with Eric's lecture because I think we've moved into the direction of understanding exercise, nutrition, and other facets of lifestyle, but we've left the energy because it is a little bit more difficult to understand, but it's so imperative. And so my message is, one, take control back of your life. Doesn't mean you have to be controlling. Take control back where that you can ask questions. It's okay to have conversations with your doctor. You should be able to. So it's back to patient-centric, like Larry said, and stay open. And I think the energy side of things is another area really, really exploding right now.
We're trying to support with these events, Brenda,
Right.
getting people to ask the questions and not challenge their doctor, but say, hey, would you respectfully partner with me? I know you're not trained in this, but I want to do things naturally and preventatively and proactively. I'm at a stage in life where that's what I want. Are you willing to work with me?
I just ran into someone, I had to say this because it was funny, after our lectures today, our discussions today, she said, I really get frustrated when I see my doctor and I can't have these conversations. And I said, well, maybe it's time you change your doctor. And she said, well, I'm changing him. Not changing him meaning I'm going to a different doctor. She said, I'm slowly changing him. And I said, good for you.
Good.
I stopped and thought, what a smart comment. And
That's
slowly,
great.
I think that's happening from the patient level.
And I
Yes.
wonder if we can't bring about a change. I know that in the United States, if anyone I knew went to a doctor and the doctor said, you have one visit today, you only get one body part to be dealt with, they go, guess what? You can deal with 2 body parts on your next patient because I'm gone to a new doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the doctors need to hear that we're not going to stay with them any longer if they do it that way, and that will help change their consciousness to realize they've got to accommodate us. They've got to accommodate us.
Yeah. And it's about that patient being empowered and understanding that they have choices. They can get acute care. They don't have to necessarily have a GP. I have numerous clients that have a naturopathic doctor, and if they need a script, they'll go to a walk-in clinic because they exhausted all hope of getting their doctor, even behind closed doors, to be realistic, communicate, and respectfully partner. And I have had some of the most fearful women go in and say, look, this is what I want. This is what I deserve. I'm in the driver's seat. How great for you, Will you work with me? And the stories I hear, and there are many, you wouldn't even believe it, behind closed doors, they say, I'm with you. My family, we do this and that, but if you tell anybody when you leave here, I'm done. My license is revoked. So I get them to understand that respectfully, too, they're coming from a place sometimes like a cat in a corner. And, if you can diffuse it, give it your best shot. If you can't, move on. Because if you emotionally are upset by going to your doctor, are you kidding? That emotional piece is everything. So, run. Get somebody else or find other ways to be in the driver's seat effectively.